Hello and welcome to
And now we're talking.
Real Estate.
Real estate.
Woo-hoo. And we also talk about a lot of things that aren't real estate. We love a good tangent.
Definitely love those tangents.
Yeah. I'm one of your hosts, Jillian Stickney.
And I'm Michelle Patterson-Knapp.
And we are longtime realtors and friends, so we kind of get into all of it, a little behind the curtain. So if that's something you like listening to, we would love to have you.
All right.
We're back.
We're back.
We never should have gone, but because we're sort of going to continue on our last episode.
Yeah.
But as we mentioned in the last episode, we're in our South Side studio, and it does have a tendency to give us shorter windows to record. And then we thought we were good, but so there's so much good stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we kind of got into it again a little more. And Michelle and I actually have like a new kind of rule in the studio. We try not to talk to each other unless we're recording, because that's what happens.
Yeah.
Like so much good stuff ends up like not actually being when it's like live. So we come in and if we want to say something, we just like touch our nose because we can't talk.
Yeah.
So anyways, but maybe some of the magic of this will be gone. But
Okay. So like the aftermath of that
so if
conversation.
so if you haven't listened to the last episode, you kind of have to listen to the last episode.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. The aftermath of that conversation kind of brought up a point with me, and I've been like ruminating. I've been really thinking about it
Okay.
over the past little while because I was in the car. I wasn't driving. My husband was driving. And so he listened to the whole
He got
thing.
it all. Yeah.
He heard it all because it was recording. And let me just say, and I don't know if people picked it up, but the other agent said, "Oh, I'm recording this."
So thank you for clarifying that, because I think, probably gotten a better audio than maybe a listener will, and I didn't even pick that up.
Yeah.
So let me just interrupt this here. Do you automatically record everything?
No, I have a dash cam.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. I know you have the dash cam. So, okay.
I have a dash cam.
You're like, well, so am I.
No, I wasn't even thinking about that. I wasn't even thinking
Do you
about
know what?
that.
Thank you for pointing that out, because that is also just a really aggressive, like, I'm recording this.
I'm
Like,
recording this.
thanks.
Like he was
Michelle, I'm recording this.
I'm recording this. And I mean, I didn't think anything of it because he could record away because I know what happened that morning, right?
Mhm.
But he was intent on catching me lie about showing
And
because-
having evidence or proof.
and having proof because he said if I had rescheduled 2.5 hours after supposedly having my appointment that I didn't cancel, right? And then lying about me accessing the property when I didn't show the property, he was trying to catch me.
Mm-hmm.
And so he came back, asking me, "Did you access the property? Yes or no?
Mm-hmm.
Did you access the property? Yes or no?"
You've probably told him over the course of by the time you got off that call, 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
But between what led up to that call and then that call,
And
that
during the
you
call.
had shown the property
Yeah.
that day at
Yeah.
11.
And then he said, "Because I'm recording this."
You're
right?
like, cool, good.
I'm like, "That's
Record away.
fine."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
So my husband was in the car and
he probably really has like a photographic memory anyway, so you're kind of knew you were recording. But you know what I mean? Like Kevin
Yeah.
is Kevin is no
Yeah.
slouch. Like he's
no,
an intelligent man.
Yes, he
and
is.
Yeah.
And so afterwards, we started talking.
Isn't that funny? The conversations you have with the people in your lives who
Yeah.
know, what you do, and yeah.
And I had I'm kind of on the fence of whether I should put the
Share.
recording of our argument.
Oh, well, I
Right?
mean, let's filibuster for a little while longer then, because so let's try and unpack this. So okay, maybe
'Cause
we
that's
should,
almost like too
we don't have
personal.
to, but this is
But
the thing, we
I'll
don't
tell
have to
you.
do the recording. You could choose to
Right,
maybe later in this, whatever,
right.
but
But because this is why it was bugging me. It wasn't even the agent, that whole thing, because we deal with that stuff all the time. in real estate with
Well,
bad,
oh yeah, sometimes you
bad
have,
interactions.
yeah, you lock horns, there's
Yeah,
miscommunication,
yeah.
like, yeah.
So, but then when Kevin said to me afterwards, because I was like, oh boy, like, this is what I have to deal with sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And Kevin said, interjected, he said, well, you were pretty cranky. And
Oh.
I'm like, I'm not feeling well. I haven't been at my best. And I'm like, I didn't think I was being cranky though. I didn't think I was,
So
not at
here's
the beginning.
so here's what we lost a little in between these recordings is, so I think a little bit the problem is we're not allowed to, like, not placate them. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not here to, like,
Yeah.
dance around you when you call me out on something that's not true and I've already let you know that. Like, am I supposed to, like, rose petal this for you? Like,
Yeah. Well, and okay. So it, in the argument that I later had with my husband,
like
he said,
arguments everywhere.
you're being pretty cranky. If somebody else, he's like, if I played a recording of that to somebody else, they would agree with me that you were being cranky.
Okay, what was he being then? Not Kevin, but the other agent. That's so
And then so why
is
did
this a
and
male female thing?
yeah,
Mhm.
and and that's what we argued about. I'm like, this is such a double standard,
Mhm.
right? Because I felt like I was being attacked.
Yeah.
My integrity was in question.
And to be honest, a lot of people would have reacted more. I think that was maybe what was almost bugging him is you're like,
And
I
I
don't
thought I was being I thought I was being level-headed and
I think you were. Yeah.
just a
But
flat affect. I didn't think I was reacting too much, like even throughout the whole thing.
I think that that's no, and I agree. I think you did handle yourself very tactfully, but I think you'd almost be like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I know what happened." Like just because you were not like flowering it
Yeah,
up, it
right?
like yeah.
And because this is potentially somebody that I might be needing to negotiate with
Mhm.
in the
Well,
future potentially, and even if it's not this deal, it might be another deal down the
that's
road.
exactly what I was gonna say because you never want to burn a bridge in this
Right,
business,
right. So I
but you
don't
also have to stand up for yourself.
exactly. And I just felt it was funny that my husband thought that I was being rude or that I was being cranky.
Yeah.
And he's like, if anybody else listened to this conversation, they
Well,
would think that you're being
listeners, we'd love to hear from you. Yeah, like what do you think?
yeah.
Like is
And so I was thinking about that, and then I remembered, I'm like, "Oh, I do have a recording of this conversation." And I went back and I found it on my dash cam,
yeah.
and I listened to it just for my own
Yeah.
peace of mind because
Yeah.
it's like, okay, maybe do I have to
Can you
work
imagine if you had to like come back, hey, you know what? I wouldn't mind that just so I can do a little self-reflection. Could you send me a copy of that?
Yeah, just send me a copy of what you have recorded. And which is why I feel okay to be using this recording
Ah,
because he
yes.
said he was recording me.
Yeah. We're like,
I don't know what he's gonna use it, but now I have my own recording of the
mm-hmm.
conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So and I listened to it and I'm like, I don't think I was being offhand or rude. And I knew because when he said, "Oh, the tenant it's been a hard thing," and he kind of
He did soften
and he
there. Yeah.
apologized
Yeah.
too, right? He says, "I'm sorry if I came off as being aggressive." Th- those were his words,
Yeah.
right?
Like and
So
I
he
don't
was
think you would say that
definitely
about you. You were just very like you weren't taking the bait is what you weren't doing. And
exactly.
I think that didn't help. Like I think he expected you to a little bit and I think he was coming from an interesting place with a poor situation with
Yeah. Yeah.
like a listing with a tenant that it sounds like it's probably been challenging and they can be and yeah like he's probably yeah so not to say that makes it right, but you can at least see how it could happen. And he did, yeah. But I still think he had a little problem letting it go at the end, it seemed like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the other thing too is that he just kept on saying this was part of it, and I don't know if he even listened to it this part in the conversation, but he just continued to say that I didn't. Super said that you didn't show it.
It's like Supra may say that, but I'm telling
Yeah,
you I
yeah,
have.
yeah, and I've told you so many
And
times,
we
and
know
like
Supra can be
I
a bit of a
can't,
liar.
I can't even believe we're going back to this, right? So
Yeah.
I wanted him to have the full account of what
How it played out.
how it
Yeah.
played out for me. And he was so intense. He's like, if you put yourself in my shoes, right? He wanted
Mhm.
me to understand where he was coming from. Yet I felt that he didn't acknowledge and didn't take a beat to understand where I was coming from,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? The fact that I showed it, I thought he would get the notification that
Yeah, like
I
you
showed
can't be
it.
expected to know that he didn't get the notification.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was confused as to why he kept asking me
Badgering you on that
if
one.
I was
Yeah.
showing if I showed the property,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then and then it's like I listened to it back and I'm like, okay, maybe I wasn't oh my god, like I wasn't giving him flowers and being like all like
That's
cutesy like dee, dee, dee,
that's what I'm like
like
I
the double
feel like if
standard,
that was like something happened to me, I probably would have, not saying that you're wrong, like cuz you have, but I probably would have been a little more convivial, like, "Oh my god, I know what happened." Done it like, you know, yeah. Like, but yeah, but it doesn't mean how you handled it was not correct. Like, you didn't do anything wrong, and I think that that is your I think honestly, this business is personalities and people,
yeah,
and, like, man, everyone has bad days, everyone has bad deals, everyone like, and so and it just yeah, so you kinda I think at the end of the day, let's all just try and give each other a little grace
little
if we
grace,
can.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
which is why I never really, like you said, took the bait and try
mhm,
to like get this
yeah,
into a real
yeah,
argument. I'm like, if you thought that was rude,
mhm.
even
Well,
with
and
my husband, if you thought I was being cranky,
I
like,
feel like that's so, like, let's go to, like I'm trying to think of, like, there's just, like let's go to Ukraine. They're, like, just so matter of fact. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, it's just that's a very North American female trope.
right?
Mhm.
Like oh, again, at the beginning of the conversation, he's like, "Oh, how are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm good."
Good.
Thank you. But my husband heard that I said, "Fine."
That's so funny because even I thought, was by chance your son in the car?
No,
Okay.
no.
Liked his young man steak.
And it was kind of funny because at yesterday evening when I had the recording and when Kevin said in our argument, he's like, if you play that for anybody else, they would say this, right?
My god,
So
did you play it?
I played it for Daniel. And I like, do you think how do you think I was behaving?
Uh-huh.
Right? Was I cranky or was I and he's like, no, no,
Yeah.
you're being
Yeah.
normal,
Yeah,
right?
interesting.
Right?
Okay. Okay, Daniel.
And and during our argument, like he was like, you must have woken up on the wrong side of the bed. And it was at that point I knew, okay, so
Wait, who
he
said
then was on the wrong side of the bed, my husband.
Oh, what?
Yeah, because he was asserting the fact that I was
Cranky.
being bitchy in that conversation when I
Oh,
was, in fact,
the
at the
thing
beginning
is,
of the
okay,
conversation, right?
is Kevin an engineer?
Yeah, well,
Well,
yeah,
something to anyways,
yes, he's a green.
here's the thing, I feel like
So
walk
great.
some miles in some realtor shoes, I
Yeah.
think, because yeah.
Uh,
Because here's the thing, and this is why I think we can sort of, if we're not careful, like set each other off when maybe we shouldn't be or don't need to or don't
mhm,
intend to, is because where was I going with this? There's just like the stuff we have to deal with, and there are some people who yeah, legitimately are certain way like
yeah.
yeah, we just have to deal with some interesting things, and so maybe different skill sets than different jobs.
And I pride myself that I can be pretty level-headed and I'm not a reactionary person,
Mhm. No,
right? I can stay pretty calm.
yeah, I would definitely say that about you, and I'm not, like, just blowing smoke, like, I would say I'm more reactionary, for sure, and I'm aware of that, and that's why I'm kind of like, okay, I can see it from both ways and stuff, but I
Yeah.
think also that's your nursing background. I don't think you can be, like, a hot-headed nurse. You can certainly
Right.
be a hot-headed realtor, we know
Yeah.
this, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But you have to be able to communicate with a level of authority
mhm,
and being assertive and not being aggressive.
yeah,
And I
but I would say be
try to
calm.
be calm,
Mhm,
right? And
yeah,
not fly off the handle.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So anyway, so this is just like the tiniest snip of behind the scenes and it's
Yeah.
like that's just like 15 minutes in the life sometimes. And when you have 15 minutes like that and another 15 minutes like sometimes you can really, especially when you have a lot going on or sometimes even it's just like like a certain deal can be they're not it can for sure have its challenges, but at the end of the day maybe a little bit like in 5 years will this matter, but, sometimes at the time you definitely are caught up in it.
So, do you ever feel like because you're a woman in this business that you have to conduct yourself in a different way or you have to show up in a certain way all the time or else people think that you're being rude?
Such a good question because I think there's so many facets to being female in this industry, good and bad. Like, that's the
Yeah.
thing. I think there's some pros, like, over being male, and I think there's some cons.
Mhm.
I, um I literally lost a listing earlier this year. I'll tell you the whole story. Start last fall, and this is like later, and we did talk a bit about rejection and
Yeah.
whatever in a recent podcast episode. I had gone on this listing appointment last summer. I had told the seller 1.2. I don't know if we've talked about this. And then another female agent came in. She told the seller 135. Like, guess who she listed with? Is this
Right.
sounding familiar? I don't know
No,
if we've
it's
hashed this
not.
out. Okay. So then, she does list it with this agent and so they list at 135, drop down to 13, drop down to 125. By then it's like getting into the fall, it expires, whatever, they take it off for the winter. I talk with her in the new year and it sounds like, yep, like she's gonna be reaching out to me, whatever. Cool. Um, and lo and behold, she ends up listing with someone else. And, she was waiting till it was going to be nice rails or things. It's okay. No, like, no pressure, whatever. Lists with someone else. Lists actually just a hair over 1.2, like 1.2 and just a bit of change, but sells for 1.187. So, like,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
But bingo bongo, I was right. Like,
Yeah.
surprise, everyone. And I will tell you, this was a nuanced listing. And there
Mhm.
was like, and I like this is what kills me about this one. Like there's somewhere I'm like, "Oh, okay, like whatever." But I'm like, it was in my wheelhouse, like where it was, the kind of property, and it's like I knew how to price it. And it's
Yeah.
like, doesn't matter. Anyways, so she lists it with a team. The head of the team is male. I know someone mutually on the street, and basically I had heard she just thought she wanted a male realtor. And I was like, that
Oh,
oh, no, I like you guys, I actually was crying about it. I know who the second realtor was on it. The
yeah.
rest of the team is female, everyone. And I know that, like, and I'm just like, and are you kidding me? I was right.
Yeah.
It's like, I think like a pride or a shame or something in their word. They don't want to come back to you because they're maybe eating humble pie or something. I want you to come back to me. That was a big kick in the proverbial junk, especially because we're talking about female versus male. Like,
Yeah.
but
Or
like,
yeah.
yeah, like I'm just making a little play on the old,
No.
on the old euphemism. But like, I was like, oh, like that one stung, and I was like, you want to list with them because they're male, and I don't know if I've had that a lot, and I think I've also had like, oh, they'd rather work with. I think in our business sometimes a female because there's these soft skills that maybe men don't have. Like,
Right.
I do think in our industry there are pros. I am not a female who's a victim. Like, I'm not like, oh, I'm a female, so my life is hard. I'm like, no way,
No.
man. I've got some like things open to me that men don't, and that's life. Like, it's not perfectly fair equation, but I think
Right.
I have some advantages that men don't, especially in this career, and vice versa. But
Yeah.
when that happened, it was just, especially knowing the backstory, that it was like, so I'm first of all mad at this first female agent who comes in and,
Mm. Screws it up for the rest
screws
of
it
the
up. Yeah,
females.
I'm like, don't, just because she's an idiot, or buying a listing, but I think both, because I will say that was a tough one to price. That is what kills me. That was a tough property to price, and I was
Right. You were
so
perfect for
freaking
it.
on it. I was, and what do I get? I get
Yeah.
a kick in the proverbial junk.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was a listing that was, like I say, in my wheelhouse. It's very much not that I have a real specific market, but it was the type of property, everything. Are you kidding me? So,
Right.
that's just a bit of a shout back to the old, disappointment and rejection episode. But that was definitely like a very blatant, in your face. I mean, even if I think it was a bit of an excuse, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, just
Mm-hmm.
because the decision you made last year didn't work, you think that it's the gender of the realtor that's gonna.
Right. Right. Well, what I find funny too is that I think most real estate transactions are driven by women.
How so?
Well, I don't even
I'm
maybe
like,
not
yeah.
most, maybe
Oh, what do
not
you mean? Like,
most,
because of
but
the if it's like a husband and wife, it's the wife who's.
and maybe that's what I see.
Mhm.
But maybe that's only because that's what I work with a lot,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I work with a lot of women,
Mhm.
and even if they have a husband in the mix, it's
Mhm.
usually the woman that is
It's
guiding
driving it.
the driving force of the
That's
transaction,
it's an
and
interesting talking
and we
point.
feel comfortable and they feel comfortable working with me as a
Oh,
woman. So maybe I'm just talking out of my ass because maybe
that's
they're
your demographic, or
yeah,
your kind of
yeah, that's my audience,
segment of the
right?
market. Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So you have to
No, but I
even
think I do think that's what I'm saying. I feel like, so when you're saying that it's maybe the females in a household that are sort of steering the move, and
yeah,
so I do think that that speaks to the fact that this kind of transaction does actually have some more female components that help it. Like,
yeah.
and so I could see that. And, but yeah, so that makes sense. And I even think, you were saying, hey, is it just my kind of pool of clients, or the people I tend to work with? Not.
Especially in residential real estate.
Yes, yeah, in residential and, like, people's homes,
Right.
Yeah, no, absolutely, it probably is the female sort of steering the ship a bit more with that, and so, but that's what I'm saying, I think that bleeds over to why like, just the whole real estate traditionally through history, more the woman's domain,
Right.
and I actually, now that we're talking about this, and this is a little risque, there was another listing I didn't get, and, I actually kind of think, and tell me if, I don't think I get this a lot, because I don't throw this kind of vibe, but
What?
do you know where I'm going?
No, I don't. I
Oh,
don't. I'm eager to
um,
find out.
okay, so I think she didn't like me. Meaning
Yeah.
meaning
Yeah.
just like girl to girl, or
Yeah.
girl to girl.
Yeah.
But if you look a certain way, you're
Mm-hmm.
charming, maybe,
They don't want to see little Miss Thing
yeah,
getting
yeah,
being
like,
successful. They don't
will
want to
be
be a part of that.
successful and be in their home, be interacting with their husband.
Oh.
I feel like that was a little, like, I kind of got a vibe
Yeah.
on this one. Because I felt like, I actually think I've had it once before, now that I think about it too, because I remember this one. So it was definitely, well, it's COVID, but I just remember because I'd Zoomed with him, but I think he was not in the city anymore, because it was him and her on title,
Mm-hmm.
and I met her, and I thought it went really well. And then I had like a Zoom set up, to talk price. And I know she'd interviewed numerous agents to talk price with the husband. And she, of course, was this, like, sort of bitter ex. And she's like, oh yeah, he's so difficult, whatever. Like, kind of made it sound like I wasn't gonna, like, it was gonna be a bad vibe. I had a great appointment with him. And so I think he was probably like, yeah, like, Jillian, she was great. Like, and
She didn't like that.
so I do think that, whatever. I mean, it's the price one must pay, but it's like, I do think that sort of that element of, maybe, being perceived as attractive, charming, whatever, like, it could hurt you in the right situation,
Mhm.
because it's
Mhm.
a threat. It's a
Yeah.
threat. Yeah, I think the odd time, but that's why I'm saying I don't think I throw that kind of vibe because I'm not like interested in your old husbands, ladies. I'm not like that's not the person I am. Like I'm
Right.
not, yeah, even if they were young and hot, like that's not who I'm that's not my character, right? And
Mm.
so and I do think that a lot of people see and understand that for sure. But I do think that sometimes there's been some instances where that in that capacity as a female it has hurt me, but like yeah, what are you gonna do, right? So
Can't
yeah,
win them all.
no, you can't, god damn it, try as we may. But so and then otherwise, because I feel like where we're like, you think we're sort of getting, well, I think we're getting some good content here, but like this sort of spurned from, you're supposed to give this like fluffy
Yeah.
whatever answer, and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And because I don't come off as, you know,
Susie cream
"Hi, how are you
cheese,
doing?
yeah.
Hi, how are you doing? Oh, I'm good, thanks. How's it going?" Like
Yeah.
bubbly and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. It's automatically seen as being rude,
Yeah.
that I'm cranky,
Mhm.
right? Where
Yeah.
I don't think it was pretty indifferent. And it was interesting to me that I f- I felt, having listened to that whole conversation and the argument that followed afterwards, that there was projection happening
Mhm.
where my husband felt I was being cranky because a past conversation with him earlier in the day did it.
Yeah, seep into that or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, and then with this guy, I don't know if I was actually being cranky. I don't think he ever said that. He said, tried to say that I was being defensive, and I'm like, no, I wasn't being defensive, right?
Mhm.
It's like, oh, you sound defensive. I didn't
He
sound like
wants you
anything.
to sound
Yeah,
defensive. That was the projecting
yeah.
right there for
There
sure.
was
Yeah.
projection happening, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I think like really what we're sort of talking about is a female in this industry held to
A different standard.
standard role, and I
Yeah,
think I think we are, for sure, to a degree, but I mean, I guess I think I'm wise to that.
yeah,
And
exactly.
to be honest, like to me, what is that? There's like a bit, well, you catch more bees with honey.
Yeah,
I do know I like to avoid conflict. I'm getting better at it, but I know that I'm the one who's gonna just kind of be convivial, move things along,
yeah,
because at the end of the
definitely.
day, I am very much, let's go, like I don't,
Let's keep it moving.
yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
need
wanna
to get
sit
hung
here,
up
I'm
on.
and that's the thing, I'm not one to like, "Oh, you're gonna pound your chest, I'm gonna pound my back," like, that's not me. I'm just like, "'Kay, moving on, like, you
Yeah,
wanna do that," but I'm like, "So anyway, how's this possession date?" or whatever,
right,
right? Yeah,
right, right.
yeah. So, but yeah, no, we're definitely, it's, yeah, it's an interesting.
But another layer of what we have to deal with in terms of handling different types of clients, different and handling, being a woman in this industry
Mhm.
too, to come off as just not being all
Flighty.
flighty, airheady,
Yes, that's
whatever,
the thing, you
right?
have to really balance, like, yeah, I'm personable, I'm kind of,
Bubbly,
yeah,
but yet not
yet, like,
knowing
competent and serious. Yeah,
what we're doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally, yeah. No, that's a really good point. And then just another reason we sort of started immediately recording again almost, after we figured out our little timing glitch, was because 'cause I'd also brought up, our friend Dewitt Yellow Tonka
Yeah.
Truck, who
Yes,
was our,
Tonka.
yeah, who
Tonka.
who was our one and only guest so far. So I was at lunch with him last week, and he was telling me this story about a client who was refusing to sign like a buyer brokerage, and she had wanted to like some information on listing, and he's like, I'm not, no, I'm not gonna do it. Oh, it's just like one whatever. And he's like, listen, I am not lifting one finger. I get that, but it's like, no, that's not the point, whatever. And basically his common law partner, she was like around or present. And I guess like after he got off the call, she's like, whoa, little like heart, like, she
Yeah,
called him out, right?
right.
And but I that's where I love Dave. I'm like, yeah, you give him hell, because I wouldn't. I mean, he works with a bit of a different client than me too, though. Like
Mm,
he has to be a little more
firm.
like, I don't even think like I feel like a client who I'm like, if this is really where I'm at with you, whatever. Like, it's just like I'm not working with them typically. But Dave, but he'll very much like stand his ground,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he he's hilarious because he's almost like he's funny. So like, he and Anita been together for a long time, no kids, like they have one cat, which they love, Sylvester. He does admit that he does have like some free time if he wants or whatever. And it's like, so sometimes he likes actually, like, it's like he's cat and mousing and he'll do
Right.
this with scenarios, right? Cause like for me, I don't have time, but he kinda, like, gets off on it, which is so funny. So I enjoy hearing his anecdotes, but, like, when we were talking a few minutes ago, I'm like, "No, moving," like, I
Yeah.
just for me, I just can't do it, but he can, and it is hilarious when I hear the story. So, yeah, no, I think and it's funny because I think it doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl, deliver it the same way, and
Right.
definitely he was not, like, he was just very matter of fact. It's like, "Listen, you sign this, I'll find out whatever for you."
I'll
But
work
until
for you.
yeah, but it's like you're missing the point. Like, yeah, it's just one MLS listing, but then like, and it's like that's
Yes.
yeah, like
Yeah.
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 So yeah,
It's one MLS listing, but you're still wanting my knowledge and
expertise, my knowledge. And
expertise.
here's the thing, that is
You
not
can't do that with a lawyer, right?
no, totally. You can't do that with anything. And it's like, and not only that, you might think, oh, this is just 10 minutes, but it's like 10 minutes on a Thursday night at 7. So this is like freaking after hours. And it
Right.
doesn't matter. You've pulled me away from like, obviously, Anita was there, whether it's dinner, watching a show, who cares, going for a bike ride.
Yeah.
Even like Dave's like, I can waste my time on my own. I don't need you to waste my time. So anyway, but the point is there was like I don't know if it was Picasso or Rembrandt or something, but there's this great little like fable about him at a cafe in Europe, and he's like doodling on a napkin, and then he goes to leave, and this lady offers, she's like, oh wait, I don't even think she necessarily knows who he is or
Yeah.
whatever, but like, she wants to purchase his little like whatever, and he tells her the price, like let's say, $20,000, and she's like, that took you like 10 minutes. He's like, that took me 10 years.
Yeah,
And that is
exactly.
that is the thing about our job. It's like, price
10
this
years
for
and
me.
10 minutes,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah, and it is so true because it's not like uh, there's yeah, it's just like talking about that property that I priced. It's like that I priced perfectly because it's a neighborhood I know really well, and they're 4 condos, which is very rare. Like it's just a 4 condo, and I sold the last one in there, albeit there was definitely some differences between them too. And like there's just so many things, and it's like I got the price bang on because of the last 20 years,
Yeah.
not because I spent 10 hours on
10 yeah,
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
10 minutes,
Well,
yeah.
no, but I mean, well, with Dave, it would be like a 10-minute
Whatever,
phone
you're
call.
right.
But like for me, pricing that, whether it was like the several appointments, the time I'm putting it
Mhm.
in between, whatever, it's like there's that actual measurable time at that point. But it's like, it's because I know this. I sell stuff on the street. And I'm like, that's what I'm getting paid for. And I was bang on. And
Right.
that's between being bang on and the female comment. I was, yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, that one, yeah, it was like, ugh,
it
I don't
hurts.
it hurt
Yeah,
a lot, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's the thing, it's like, I do get rejection for sure, but it's like, I'm pretty good at handling it, but that one took
Mhm,
me aback, yeah.
mhm.
So, but anyway, so
I
no,
had
it's
I
oh,
had this one, occasion that happened where you it was with another woman, and we had talked about how we're gonna price her property, how we're gonna present it and everything like that, and then at the end of the day, she did end up going with the man,
mhm,
right? Well, I don't know if that had anything to do with it,
mhm.
but sometimes you don't
Well,
know, but it's kind of, "Well, what else could it be? What a"
well, and so what I will say about this scenario I had mentioned is she was elderly, like could have even been in her 80s. And I think sometimes that's a bit old school thinking
Right,
too. And her husband had probably like, I don't know when he hadn't just passed, but he had passed since, in the last like, let's say handful of years, or, it wasn't super recent, but she hadn't been on her own for like 20 years
right.
either. So I think sometimes maybe people like with that much more traditional role, they're like, oh, like, and so
Mhm.
that's where they want that they feel like that direction or something. But I
Right.
also like to think like, hey, like sister, little girl power here, right? I'm not someone who feels like I am repressed because I'm a
No.
female. I feel like I have an advantage because I'm a female. So I want like get that on the record.
I think this is a great time to
Yeah.
wrap it up.
Sounds good to me, boss. So as always, we really appreciate you guys tuning in and listening.
And stay tuned for our next episode.
Yeah, we'll catch you guys there.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening.
Yes, you can follow us on Apple Music, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you find your podcasts.
And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
Take care.
Bye for now.
Bye.